In this video, I'm going to share with you the 13 laws of money that will make you rich. It doesn't matter if your goal is to get to $10,000 a month, to $100,000 a month, hell, maybe $1 million a month. Because if you understand the 13 laws I'm about to share with you, and most importantly, if you apply them, I am absolutely convinced that you will get rich. Law number 1, you don't need to reinvent the wheel or to be a genius to become rich. So you see, a lot of people mistakenly believe that if they want to make a lot of money, let's say $10,000 a month, even all the way up to $100,000 a month, they only have two options to do this. The first option would be for them to get a job and occupy a top position in a big company. Let's say they could be a CEO, a CFO, a COO. Or they think that the other way to get rich is to either become famous or to invent the next revolutionary thing, to do something which hasn't been done before. Because when most people think about getting rich, they think it's some kind of a fluke, like you've got to code the next Facebook, the next Airbnb, and then you'll get rich if you get lucky. But to do that, you would need lots of startup capital, which most people don't have. So in the eyes of most people, becoming rich, even just getting to $10,000 a month, seems like an impossible thing to achieve. Well, let me tell you one thing, none of that is actually true. Sure, if you wanted to become a billionaire, you would probably need to do something very different to what people are used to currently. But even then, Jeff Bezos, running Amazon.com, one of the biggest companies in the world at the time we are speaking, did he invent shopping? Well, no, he just came up with a strategy to help people to shop even better. Nowadays, you can just go on the Amazon.com website, you'll find anything you want pretty much for all budgets, and you can even get it delivered to your door on the same day. But now you may ask, well, how does this apply to me? To get rich, you can simply follow a proven step process that works, and you will get a piece of the pie. Just think about all the restaurants you see when you go walk downtown. The owner of that Italian restaurant you always walk by, he didn't invent Italian cuisine, nor did he invent the concept of having a restaurant. Think about the guy that lives in your building and who owns a few rental units. He didn't invent real estate. He simply took advantage of a pre-existing market, of a desire that people had, like people need shelter, and that is how he made his money. So what tells you that you couldn't do the same? And I'll tell you one thing, if you really think that you need to be a genius, have an insane IQ if you want to get rich, there's plenty of smart, extremely talented people from all over the world, yet they never become millionaires. In fact, they stay broke their entire lives. So intelligence does not guarantee in any way whatsoever that you'll become rich. Like, trust me, you'd meet some rich people and you'd think, wow, those people are stupid. So that goes to show you don't need to reinvent the wheel, and you also don't need to be a genius. All you need to do is to follow a step-by-step process consistently over months, over years, and if you do it right and you never give up, I can guarantee that even if you might not end up becoming a millionaire, you'll have a lot more money in your bank account at your disposal than you currently do. Law number 2, launch your minimum viable offer as soon as possible. You see, a while ago in the software industry, the big companies were trying to overcomplicate everything. They wanted to provide the best experience for the customers, but the issue is that at the time, they thought that to be able to do this, they needed to add a lot more features on their softwares, when in reality, that's not necessarily what customers cared about. To give you an example, if customers wanted to send emails to their friends, to their families, to their coworkers, they only cared about that, sending emails, not about 10,000 different fancy features. But then the software companies would add all those fancy features that people didn't really care about, and so now the software would become a mess, it would be too complex to use, so they would start to lose customers, their revenue would start to go down. And then a couple people came up with the concept of the MVP. It means minimum viable product. The whole concept behind the MVP is to give the customers only what they need for them to be satisfied and to reach their goals. That's it. So with a minimum viable offer, you give your customer, your market, exactly what they need, nothing less, nothing more. What a minimum viable offer allows you to do is to go to the market and start selling your product or your service as quickly as possible. That way, if it's not something that people want, you won't have wasted a lot of time or a lot of money. I mean, I can't even tell you how many young entrepreneurs, wannabe entrepreneurs, just get started in business, but instead of actually going out there and selling what they have to offer, telling the word about it, they try to perfect it forever. And that's how they end up wasting years of their lives and hundreds of thousands of dollars creating a product or some kind of software that nobody actually needs or wants. Just think about how this person's life is ruined after they spent all that time and all that money to, in the end, build something that no one ever buys. Oftentimes, people might think that it's this big fancy idea that will make them rich, but in reality, like I said, you simply need to pick something which already exists and do it in your own way. Do it a little bit better, a little bit differently. Law number 3, you get what you give. Now, popular media loves to portray rich people as evil people who had to do evil, nasty things to climb to the top. I mean, that's exactly what they show us in fiction, in movies, in TV, even in the news. Rich people are always vilified. But I'll tell you one thing, there is the same proportion of malicious people, of nasty people, doing morally questionable things within the rich and within the poor. It's got nothing to do with the size of your bank account and everything to do with your values and who you are as a person. And if you take a look at the richest people on the planet, how did they make their money? How did they get rich? By providing massive value to a big number of people. They didn't steal their way to success. If you take a look at Warren Buffett, he helped countless companies to grow and to expand. For a business, it's a massively valuable transformation. So naturally, he gets rewarded handsomely for it. Think about Mark Zuckerberg. He created an app that at the time was quite revolutionary. It allowed people to connect with their loved ones, with their friends from all over the world. Again, that is a profoundly valuable transformation. If you take a look at Bill Gates or even Steve Jobs, they made computers accessible to most people around the globe. Again, that is some massive value right there. So the more value you provide to other people, the more painful the problems that you solve for other people, the more money you're going to make, because the market is going to reward you in consequence. So that goes to show you, you can't be selfish and make a lot of money. Now sure, you'll find the exception, but building a business around lies, deceptions, scams, over the long term, it's not going to work. Plenty of people want to make a quick buck right now, and that is why businesses like dropshipping are so popular. A couple years ago, everyone and their mother wanted to start a dropshipping store. And look, nowadays it's a business model which is oversaturated, and the only ones who really made money in the end, it's Shopify and the people selling you that method. So if you want to make a lot of money, you need to help as many people as possible to solve painful problems. And that is also typically why wannabe entrepreneurs who start a business around their passion, thinking about what they love, that's why they typically fail. Because they're only taking into consideration their needs, their desires, what they want out of that business. They're thinking about their enjoyment. They're being selfish. Your customers are not going to pay you because you want to make money, because you want to afford a better life. They're not going to buy your stuff just because you're passionate about it. Sure, I'm not going to lie to you. It's gonna help if you're passionate about what you do, but you don't need to be passionate or in love with your business to make $10,000 a month, even $100,000 a month. When you start a business, the most important aspect, it's what people want. As Zig Ziglar said, if you give other people what they want, you'll have anything you've ever wanted. Law number 4, you won't attract what you fear. The thing is that in life, you don't get what you deserve. You get what you think you deserve. I mean, I'm sure that you can see that plenty of people from all over the world in all countries work extremely hard. In fact, every single day they work themselves to the bone, sometimes even on the weekends. So if you look at those people, you would think they surely deserved to be paid more. But that is not how things work. Because you need to understand this one thing. The world is profoundly unfair, and it's always been this way, and it will continue to be this way. And that is exactly why you can't allow yourself to put money on a pedestal. If you put luxury, nice vacations, nice cars, nice houses on a pedestal, you're signaling to your brain that you don't deserve that thing. So no matter what you try to do, on a subconscious level, you'll find a way to mess it up, to self-sabotage your progress, and in the end, you'll never get what you want. Law number 5, spend money on assets instead of liabilities. Most middle-class people love to buy liabilities. They're gonna buy a car, they're gonna buy vacations, they're gonna buy iPhones, they're gonna buy nice clothes, because they want to appear richer. And because they work hard, they want to reward themselves, and that's completely fine. However, they do it the wrong way, because they don't invest in any assets, and instead, they put all their money or most of their money into liabilities. Their income is never going to grow. Sure, you can get a raise, but it's not like one year to the next, your income is going to quadruple all of a sudden. However, with an online business, it's completely possible, which is why if you want to start your own online business, you just have no clue where to start. I've recorded a free video in which I analyze every popular online business model. Together, we take a look at the pros, at the cons, and I'm also going to share with you, again for completely free, the 3-step process that you can use to get your first customers starting today. At the end of the day, we don't want to waste any time. I'll leave the link in the description below. So if you want to become rich, what you need to do is to take a different approach. Instead of with your money that you make from your job or with your business, to spend it directly on liabilities after you paid your taxes. Instead, invest most of that money into either reinvesting in your business or starting a business if you don't have one already, because you can only save so much money. At some point, if you really want to become rich, to even make just $10,000 a month, $20,000 a month, you'll need to earn more, whether it be with a career or with an online business. But starting an online business is a much better path than following the traditional career route, because if you choose that path, the traditional path, climbing the corporate ladder, it's gonna take you your entire life. And even if you do manage to make 6 figures a year, you'll be working 12 hours a day with 2 weeks of vacations per year. So really, how much freedom do you have? So then when you use that money to invest in assets, the money that comes out of those assets, you can use a part of it to reinvest in more assets and then grow your wealth like that. And you can use a certain percentage, let's say 10-20%, to buy anything you like. I mean, to pay rent, to pay the clothes that you you want, the vacations that you want, and gifts for the people that you love. Because at the end of the day, let's face it, the goal is to make more money to enjoy life, not just to keep building but never enjoying. You need to reward yourself, but you need to do it the smart way. Law number 6. Harness the power of natural law. With social media, we are led to believe that we can get overnight results. You know, with no experience, no work, in just 90 days you'll become a multi-millionaire. But I'll tell you one thing, that is never ever going to happen. One of the fundamental laws of nature is the compound effect. It means that when you get started in something, you're not going to see a lot of progress or a lot of results from the beginning, and that is especially true in business. But then all of a sudden, all of your previous work starts to pay off, and now you experience this massive growth curve. That is the compound effect. Understand this, in business, growth is often not linear, instead it's exponential. That is why during your first year or two in business, you must give it your everything, because when you reach that point, as long as you're doing the right thing, following the right opportunity, you will become successful. Success only becomes a matter of time. I mean, it's the same reason why at the time you're watching this video, we are making a video a day on the main channel, and that's a video which is at least 10 minutes long. For months we might see just slow growth, but one day one video is going to go viral, blow up, and now more and more people will become aware of that channel. Law number 7. Your business will only ever be as successful as you. Let me tell you one thing, your business is a reflection of who you are as an individual. If you can't stick to a workout program, if you can't discipline yourself to get up at a certain time, go to sleep at the same time every day, even on the weekends, what makes you think you'll be able to make millions of dollars? You simply won't, because I'll tell you this, starting a business and succeeding with it, it's difficult. Sure, it's a lot easier nowadays with social media, with online businesses, but it's still going to demand a lot of sacrifice out of you. The higher you want to go, the more you'll need to sacrifice. That's how the game is played. Law number 8. Delegate and hire. A lot of small business owners are not really business owners. They're self-employed. And the difference between being a business owner and being self-employed is that the self-employed person is going to do everything. It's kind of like a freelancer. So essentially they only have more of a job than a job for themselves. They might make more money than the average person, but still they have no freedom. They work 10 hours a day, 7 days a week sometimes. When you're a business owner, you understand that your time is limited. Your skills are limited. You can't know everything all by yourself, and you can't do everything all by yourself in one single day or in one single week. Every CEO in the world hires the right people because they understand this one thing. They understand that they don't have the skills to do everything themselves. They need to surround themselves with other talented people that are fit for the job, and that is how you build a multi-million-dollar empire. Because sure, you can get to $10,000 a month all by yourself, but you'll still be working a lot, exhausting yourself, and that is why at Consulting Fastlane we take a completely different approach. We show our members how they can leverage the skills of other people, experienced people, cheap contractors, so that they can still gain their freedom and make more money. If you want to learn more about this business model, it's the first link in the description below. Law number 9. If you are not deeply convinced that you can succeed in business, you simply won't. Henry Ford was the man who said, if you think that you can or you think that you can't, either way you are right. And it might seem like a bit of a woo-woo thing to say, but you have to understand that your mind and your body are connected. If you start to think about negative things, you'll feel the sadness in your body, you'll feel the anger in your body. It's proven scientifically that people who are depressed die sooner than those who are not. In business, just like in sports, your state of mind matters a lot more than most things. Sure, you need to follow the right process, to have the right tactics, but that's what, only 30% of the game, 70% is in your head. If you take a look at Navy SEALs, at top athletes, sure, they go through extreme things physically, like the training is intense, and not everyone could do it, not everyone has the physical capacities to do what they do. However, what separates them from most people, it's not their physical abilities, rather it's their state of mind. The fact that they can go to that dark place, that painful place in their mind and keep pushing even when they are in extreme pain. So if you can learn to push past the doubts, the fears, and just keep going, honestly you'll become successful. It's inevitable. And if you are convinced that you deserve a better life, that you will succeed at some point, doesn't matter if it's in a year or in 10 years, but you will succeed. If that is what you truly believe, honestly, I have no doubt you'll be able to become extremely successful. Law number 10. Get ready to get kicked in the face 10,000 times. A lot of people are afraid of failure. I mean, after all of our lives, we have been told, if you fail, you are a failure. Like you are profoundly flawed as a human being because you made a mistake, because you failed, because you didn't get the answer right. Ever since we are born, school and society in general programs this kind of mindset into us, and then later on in life it holds us back, because when we want to take risks, to go for that promotion, to try getting that dream job, or to start that online business we've always wanted to start, to go talk to that person, now we're not bold anymore. We're not courageous enough to actually go and do that thing, even if in our gut we know it's the right thing to do. So I'll tell you this right now, if you expect to become extremely successful. I'm talking about making millions of dollars, living an incredible life, a life that 99% of people can only dream of. Yet you're not willing to get kicked in the face 10,000 times. Let me tell you, you're not ready for that journey. Law number 11. What matters is the money that you keep, not the money that you make. If you make $1 million, it sounds cool. I mean, if you tell most people, I made $1 million this year, they would be amazed at it. But you only know one part of the equation, how much you made. But what if to make that $1 million, you spent $10 million? So in reality, you didn't make anything. You lost $9 million. And that is why in business, whether you make $10,000 a month, $50,000 a month, hell, $10 million a year, the only thing that matters at the end of the day, it's how much you keep. The advantage of online businesses over traditional brick and mortar businesses, like let's say a grocery store, is that the profit margins are a lot higher. With an online business, it's possible to get 98% profit margins. Try getting that much in profit margins with a traditional brick and mortar business. It's impossible. And if you sell high ticket products with only a few customers, you could be making $10,000 a month already. With 10k per month, you can do pretty much anything you want. Sure, you can't fly private, but I don't think that most people really care about that. Because what matters the most, it's the freedom that you gain when you finally make $10,000 a month online. Now, if you'd like to discover how you can make your first $1,000 online in 90 days or less, we've created a private program and a private community to help you to accomplish exactly that. It's the second link in the description below if you're interested. There you'll be able to learn more about the Fasting Club. Keep in mind that spots are limited and we don't accept just anyone. Law number 12. Your fear will be your greatest motivator. Human beings would work infinitely harder to avoid losing something as opposed to gaining a positive. If I told you you were going to lose your home tomorrow and the only way to avoid that was to work 12 hours a day for a month straight, would you do it? You bet you would. You'd work extremely hard to avoid losing your home because you can't afford to lose it. Now, if on the other hand, if I told you if you work extremely hard 12 hours a day for a month straight, and let's say you don't have to do anything else, like it's a month of vacation, but instead if you work 12 hours a day, you'll make an extra $1,000. Now, would you do it? Do you think it's worth it to invest that much effort and that much time to only make $1,000? Chances are a lot less people would do it. And that is why you want to use your fears, the worst case scenarios, the life that you absolutely don't want to live, as your biggest motivation. Just ask yourself, what's gonna happen if I don't start my business? What's gonna happen if I stay in this job that I hate? What will my life be like 10 years from now? Chances are, if you take the time to think about it, the outcome that you'll get if you don't change anything about your life right now, it's gonna be devastating. So really, I invite you to grab a piece of paper, a pen, and ask yourself, what am I missing out on if I don't start to chase after my dreams right now? Law number 13. You want to create an emergency fund savings account. The thing is, it's a lot easier to take risks when you don't have anything to lose. It's a lot easier for a student with extra time on his hands to start his own online business than it would be for, let's say, a parent of 3 young kids working 60 hours a week or even more than that and having to pay off a mortgage on top of all of that. Of course, the less responsibilities you have, the easier it's going to be to take risks. The more money you have, the more you can afford to lose. And that is why I invite you to start saving some money so that if anything happens, you would have 3 to 9 months of paid expenses ahead of time. So that gives you enough time to get back on your feet and to fix all the financial issues in your life. And again, if you know that you have, let's say, $10,000 saved up, it's going to be easier to take some risks because you know you can afford to do it. So with that said, if you apply these 13 laws, you will become rich. I have no doubt about it.